And it's free. Patreon's free. If you want to donate, donate. I appreciate you. If not, don't worry about it.
Close the door, damn it!
But it's free. But I've been uploading or posting articles over there that instead of doing like a live chat, just showing you my articles, I've been posting them over there. There's some good ones. There's some weird shit over there.
Dad's gonna call an ambulance. Wake up! Wake up! Stop! Give it to me. Zach!
You all right? You need some Narcan?
What?
You all right? I don't even know if I got any in here. Now, hold on, guys. Let's see if I got this shit in here. I don't think I do. This is why you should have this shit everywhere. I got some at home, but I don't have any on me. Dude's probably over here dying. Hey guys, let me get off here and go help these people out. I'll leave my phone running, but I'll be back. I'm going to see if I can help this dude. I'll be back. You all right? Right here, it's right through it, 2 minutes away. They can't take him to jail for being high as long as you don't have nothing in his pockets. It's just right, like literally right here. Like go through the light. It's just literally right, like 200 yards through. Yeah, cross Winton. Just follow me. Stay right behind me. So here's how scared of the police people are. Dude's in the back of that truck ODing right now. We're wasting the time to go to my house to get fucking Narcan for his ass instead of calling the paramedics. Come on, dude. That's how fucking scared of the police people are. Their son's in the back of that truck overdosing. He might not be overdosed. He ain't waking up though. He's about to wake up right here with his Narcan as soon as I get to my house. So, Liberty Chick, if you are watching, I am running to the house real quick to get this man some Narcan. And yes, guys, you can get Narcan for free. I thought I had some in here, but I don't. All you have to do is have your doctor prescribe it to you. And they can prescribe it to anybody. So, and it has an expiration date on it, and that expiration date don't matter. It'll be good for a year after that. First thing that lady said to me over there, "You're not a cop, are you?" So she, for whatever reason, got her son from somewhere, and he's fucked up in the back seat dying. And I mean, he wasn't like, he was still breathing. That's the only reason I said just bring him to my house real quick. I got some Narcan there. If he would have been breathing, I would have fucking called the paramedics. But people don't want to get the cops involved. Why? Because their son would go to jail for something. That's what they would do. So we'll go here at my house. We'll hit him with Narcan. Hopefully he comes right out of it. He's going to be mad when he does. They always are. And hopefully he's still breathing. It's unreal. This is the prime example, though, of why people are afraid to call paramedics because of cops. Because they're worried about cops. Worried about what could happen. And I don't know the dude's story. I don't know what's up with him. You know, he could be out on bond right now for all I know. Unreal. I can't believe I don't have no. I know why it's not in my car, because I just didn't put it in this car. It's in my other car. This shit's unreal, though. You know how many times I've done this? How many times I've had to give people Narcan that I've just ran into randomly at the gas station or wherever. Drivers fucking slumped over at the dam. It's unreal. Oh. but you got time. People think you don't, like people freak out when shit like this happens. As long as he was still breathing back there, even if you stopped breathing on the way here, he would still be fine. We'll get him going. I'm gonna set my phone right here, guys, and I will be back. I'm just gonna leave it playing. I gotta run here and grab this real quick.
Okay, do you know where the fire department is? Okay,
Right here, right up here. The way we just came, it was right across from where you were sitting at. Right across from Kroger's. Okay, you need to take him.
Oh, yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah, we'll go there right now. Call them on your way so they know you're going there.
What's your name?
Nick.
Thank you,
Yeah, just go now. You worry about him right now. Unreal. That dude was laying in the back seat, blew her and fuck. God, the people are stupid. That boy's gonna die. Don't get him over there right now. Just like that though. Just back here. Did you hear? Well, they'll call the police. I said, you got two options. They call the cops, he goes to jail, possibly, or he fucking dies. Make the choice. I said, I just gave him enough Narcan, this shit will woke him up in about a minute. Like, man, I fucking give him 8 milligrams of Narcan. And it did. No, you went the wrong way, dude. No. Like, he called the paramedics. I don't want to go to my house. Unreal, man. But like, that's a prime fucking example right there, man. Dude, overdosed on drugs in their back seat, mom and fucking dad, and they're scared to death to take their kid to the hospital, or scared to death to take him to the paramedics because of the cops, because of what the cops will do. Oh, that's unreal. That is fucking unreal, man. Hopefully he's waking up right about now. I doubt it though. I told him not to wait. Just the way he was breathing, I wouldn't have waited no more. Like literally, when I got in the back seat, he was blue. I shook him. I said, "Hey Zach, man." And he, took a deep breath. He got real labored breathing. I don't know. Hopefully he gets there and they do something. I left all the Narcan shit in the back of the seat. But you can get Narcan, man, from your insurance, your doctor. You can just have your family doctor write your prescription for Narcan. And, man, I hope he's all right. I told her to sit in the back seat. She's going to jump back in the front seat. So sit back here and shake the fuck out of him. Keep shaking him all the way there, and he'll keep breathing. But you got to keep him functioning. You got to keep him talking, even though he ain't talking to you, back to you. But keep talking to him, keep shaking him, smacking him in the face and shit. As soon as you stop, he's going to quit breathing on you. Like literally, he was blue when I got jumped in the backseat of that truck just now. Fucking blue. Unreal, man. Just like, I mean, like, dude, like, I feel like crying, man. Like, you should have seen that mom. And all she's worried about is the cops. What the cops are going to do. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, they're over there right now. Like, the paramedic shop's right there. Unreal. Where my wife's at. She's probably inside. She's probably mad at me. I hope he's all right. It sucks. She ain't even out here nowhere. Unreal, man. That kid's gonna die. They don't get him some help right now. Hopefully he's waking up. Oh man, I don't know. He could be waking up by now. I don't think he was going to though. He was fucked up. Don't be using heroin, people. It ain't heroin no more. When it was heroin, it was cool to get high. Now it's just plumb fucking stupid. Plumb stupid. Unreal, man. Well, it's supposed to, but you can only, your body will only metabolize 12 milligrams of Narcan. Or wait, 6 milligrams of Narcan. That's all it will metabolize. So they'll give you 3 doses of it. If you don't wake up after that, it's on your body to fucking either come back or them to keep you alive or whatever. Like when I jumped in the backseat of that truck, that kid, he was laying down, like fell over, and he was blue in the face. I mean, fucking blue in the face. I wonder where they went. He might have woke up because they're not over there no more. Huh. That's weird. Oh, my bad. My phone's upside down. I'm covering the thing up. Unreal. I don't know. I don't see their truck over there anymore. I seen him walk in and talk to somebody. The lights come on. I bet he woke up in the back seat. They're madder than hell, man. That Narcan hits them too. They get mad about that shit. Is that fucking truck right there? I hope he's all right. Unreal though, man. That's crazy. Afraid to call the cops because it's afraid to call paramedics because of the cops. Unreal, dude. Like that is the craziest shit. They would have sat right here in this parking lot with him until that boy died. People don't realize, you know,
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I get not wanting your kid to go to jail and shit. But, you know, if it means going to jail or him living, you better just go on and. I mean, jail's probably the best place for him. He's overdosing on freaking fentanyl. It's what's killing everybody's fentanyl. Heroin killed very few people in this country. They want to pass it off like it's heroin, but it's not. Heroin was a problem in this country long before anybody knew it was a problem. Back in the late 90s is when heroin became a problem in this country. Here in Cincinnati. Even before then, mid 90s through, you know, once everybody started doing it, it was harder to get in. They started cutting with all kinds of bullshit. Started throwing fentanyl in it and car fentanyl and all kinds of other shit. This is weird because he must have woke up because the paramedic truck ain't leaving. Ain't got no lights going. Good for him, man. But you know the sad part about it is that he's gonna wake up and do the same thing tomorrow. I mean, I genuinely feel for those people, man. Like, you know, people want to down people that get high, and all there's junkies, and dude, there's somebody's kid. You know, somebody loved that boy. Or his mom loved him. You can just tell by what she was talking to the cops. I just told her, I said, you have two options, lady. You can sit here and we can chance that he's going to die, but he ain't going to do it here regardless. You're going down the street. Just because I don't have time, I don't want to deal with that shit. Or you can take him over there. And my wife's calling. Hang on one second, guys. Unreal. Anyway, you can get Narcan from your family doctor. Just tell them you need a prescription for Narcan. They'll write you a prescription, and your insurance will pay for it. Like, they write it for you in the event that you was to overdose. I don't fucking know. I don't know how they do it, but your insurance will pay for it. Your doctor can write it for you. Unreal. Narcan only works on overdoses caused by opioids. Yeah, it only works on opioids caused by, or overdoses caused by opioids. You're right. But here, this family of drugs includes prescription painkillers like Oxycontin, fentanyl, methadone, Vicodin, as well as street drugs like heroin. Yes, it does. Chances are, if it, like, opioid overdoses are, I mean, that's the only thing you're going to overdose on and have the kind of reaction he was having, where, you know, labored breathing. Like I said, he was fucking blue when I opened up that one. Stuck my head in that back door, and I grabbed him and set him up, and then laid him back down and give him both doses, which you're really not supposed to do the way I did it, but it'll be all right. Like I said, he must have woke up because they're not over there. Like, I can see all the doors, and the paramedic truck's sitting right there. So he woke up. He had to have. Unreal. What are y'all doing, guys? What do they give you at the hospital for overdose? Narcan. Same thing I just gave him. That's what they give you for overdosing at the hospital. If you eat, if it's like an oral overdose, meaning like you ate a bunch of Oxycontins or something, they'll pump your stomach too. But for a heroin overdose, the Narcan, they'll give you 6 milligrams of Narcan, 2 milligrams at a time. And after the third one, that's it though. You get 3 doses and that's it. If you don't wake up from that, you're done. My real goal was to create a community of people across the country that, like, you know, if we had an issue here, we could go somewhere, then eventually create a community together, right? Well, I think I've achieved my goal. At least that part of it, if that's what it was. People are they're not going to wake up to it, man. People, you know, and it's not that complicated, you know. And you tell people, you know, like, I had to wake up to certain shit. I had to ask myself questions that, you know, I guess the average person don't ask themselves. Like, okay, self, if government has authority over me, just blanket authority over me, they can walk up to me with a gun, put a gun in my face and say, get on the ground, and you've done nothing wrong. Self, how are you free? And then I was like, wait a second here. Something don't sound right about that. Because my answer was. So then I went digging through this thing called the Constitution. And then I learned what that thing was. And then I realized that how unconstitutional the policing forces were, and then I found out that how we were supposed to self-govern and police ourselves, and the role sheriffs played, and I just seen how screwed up the country was. And then I finally whittled it down to the problem,
Stop it, Kroger.
to the you know, what I see as the problem, and I don't see any way around it. If anybody knows of a way around this problem, let me know. If you know a problem that is, if you don't think the police are the problem, tell me. Tell me what else we can do to fix everything we have going on in this country. Because there's not one problem that I have that somewhere along the way there's not some asshole with a badge who has authority over me in the government's eyes. And people are just unwilling to admit it. You know, we've had beating our heads all the time. If you don't like the cops, you're immediately labeled a criminal. Well, if you didn't do this, or what did they do to you? Right? Like, so it's always assumed that you know, you've had some major issues with cops, which I had issues with cops ever before I had issues with cops. I've always had an issue with authority. That's my mama. She will tell you. If you tell me to go 55, I'm going 65 just because there's a sign that says I can't go over 55. Like, I literally really don't watch my speedometer when I drive. I just drive. If it's safe, I go that fast. But there are a few people that see it. They or at least they won't lie. What it's really about is lying to yourself. Because when I say, hey, just ask yourself, tell me one problem you have that's going on today in this country when it pertains to government that does not involve some asshole with a badge.
Badge things.
And you can't come up with that problem. Chances are the asshole with the badges are the problem. But people are just unwilling to accept it or even admit it. And and it's beating a dead horse. It really is. Like, I'm really burnt out on even talking about it. I'm burnt out on trying to explain to people what rights are, because I'm just explaining it to the same people. Because if that one new person is in the chat or something, he's only here for this one time.
Do anything? Do you need
Or
anything?
just sell.
Do you want
Or just
anything? Do you want anything at all?
Just whatever you want to get. I don't care. I need meat. So that's just kind of where I'm at. You know, the solution to the problem is stop giving a shit
I mean, like,
and
do
be
you want
willing
anything
to
in
die
particular
for it.
special
I don't
right
disagree
now?
with that. The person turns to many people. Those who fear their jobs because cops would fear their jobs because their job is wrong. Their job is wrong, man, but they've been led to believe that they're doing good. They're doing good for the community. You know, they're helping the community. And I'm sure that there's some guys, you know, there's one of my subs, Francis, that I talked about him last week. Like, he tried to be a cop. He really wanted to do some good. He thought that he could. And he said before he even got to become a cop, he realized, like, this isn't the place for me. These people are special in a way that isn't good. It takes a special asshole to want some kind of authority over other people, man. Like, I hate having to tell my kids what to do, much less having to tell grown-ass adults what to do. And, like, even when they talk to you, get out of the car. They're not asking. They're telling you. Like, they're your daddy. Who gave you authority over me, asshole? Well, government did. Who gave government authority over me? Nobody. They just took it. And like I said, and people are just unwilling to accept the facts. You know, we praise the men that founded this country, but then lie to ourselves about who they had to shoot in the face in order to win our independence. The British police forces, that's who they shot in the face. And they'll say, well, they wasn't the police forces, they were the military. Yeah. And back then, the military was the policing forces also. Go read letters and journal entries where they talk about the redcoats, you know, stopping them in the street and arresting somebody, or arresting the, you know, the local newspaper guy, or rummaging through people's homes and papers and effects. And it was, I had, it was, I felt like I made more progress when I had 60 subs compared to when I had 2,000. And like I said, most of the people, I don't have 2,100 subs. I have 1,700 people, 1,600 people that I said one thing that they agreed with by chance, or they were sent over by another channel. I have 700 people that agreed with one thing that I said at least. And I probably have about 40 people that see that there's an issue at least. They see that the Democrat and the Republican lie. They see there's a problem with government having some kind of perceived authority over you. And then you have the assholes that, like Mr. Security Guy 42. I just couldn't make it through that one. I mentioned taking your kids out of school because I knew what he would do. I knew it. I don't know how I knew it, because I've watched a couple of his videos in the past. But I'm not like up to date with him. I don't know what his position is on anything. But I had a feeling that he would blame it on something. He did. Oh, well, parents can't afford to take their kids out of school. Yeah, they can. They choose not to. It's a priority thing. Anything you do in life, it's priority. If you want to work 9 to 5 and come home and spend time with your kids after school and go to baseball and shit, then yeah, it's what you send your kids to school to go be indoctrinated by the communists. Yeah, more power to you. But don't complain about the communists. And I asked a question, and I asked a two-part question. I wish I wouldn't have now, because he only answered the first part. No, he answered the second part. The second part was, where's all those good cops at? Well, they quit 2 years ago. Did you miss that? Did you miss it? They quit when they were told to stand down because they are such good cops. Fucking unreal. No, people are just not going to care until it reaches out and it touches them. Until it reaches out and it touches their kid, or it reaches out and touches their mom. I'll never forget when my mom woke up to the fact that cops were bad. I remember the day. It was clear as day. Because I used to tell my mom all the time that cops were pieces of shit. She'd be like, well, no, they're not. You're just anti-authority. And yeah, it's because I'm free. Somebody put sugar in my mom's gas tank in her car, one of her ex-boyfriends, after my dad and her split up. I was over at her house. It was actually at my aunt's house. It wasn't even my mom's house. It was at my aunt's house. I was outside working on the car, and well, she reported it, and the cops showed up finally 2 hours later, and was inside the house talking to my mom. And I walked in, and he recognized me. I guess it was where I was a kid, man. I was like 18 years old or something, 19. He put me in handcuffs right there in front of my mom because I wouldn't give him my social security number and my last name, just because he recognized me. I was like, told you, Mom, they're bastards. I didn't do anything. I just walked in a house. Like, until it touches people, they're never going to wake up. And at this point, even the people that see that there's a problem, they're still not going to wake up to the fact of it. By the time they do wake up, it's going to be gone completely. The country's gone anyway. There's no saving the country. We're not saving the whole country. It's never going to happen. The best case scenario, we save a state. And even then, it's not going to be the same because rights have been lost. Natural rights have been lost in this country. And they've been lost to some kind of hybrid, authoritarian, totalitarian, socialist, mini-communist state. Something like that. Hell, I don't even know anymore, man. And then, you have people making videos, and damn well they're talking about you. Half of them have your phone number. They could call and say it to you, but they won't. They want to make the assumption they know what you're doing. They know every aspect of your life. They tell you what you could be doing. When, like, sure, that shit don't. I've done that. Been there and done that, man. Doesn't make me happy. They take saying something that was completely a joke as being serious. I just don't get it. I just don't get people anymore, man. People are pieces of shit for real. They really are. You know, it's like they don't care that the woman gets raped, as long as it ain't their woman getting raped. So it's just unreal. I'm just burnt out on it, to be honest with you. I really am. I'm burnt out with all of it. I'm burnt out especially because I can't see past the real problem to buy into the rest of the bullshit. Like, yeah, I could boo-hoo about, you know, what happened in Portland this weekend, or I could boo-hoo that there was, you know, 10 people shot last night in Maryland, I think, with 2 people died. I could boo-hoo about the ATF and, hey guys, they put up their little thing. Go over there and beg your masters for your crumbs. Beg, yeah, because the ATF gives a shit about what you say, right? Just like they have. Why don't you write them about when you write them about the pistol braces? Why don't you talk to them about full autos while you're over there? SBRs, you know. And then they still, you know, and even when you bring it to their attention and they acknowledge that there's a problem, they'll still make an excuse. Well, my state's got constitutional carry. So the government gave you permission to do something and you're okay with it. Go read the guidelines in that. You know, Nelson Militia made a good video the other night talking about South Carolina's constitutional carry. You can constitutional carry if you do this, and you carry this type of gun that weighs this much, that's this long. You can then carry a gun because we say so. Instead, you know, if you want constitutional carry, repeal every unconstitutional gun control law in the state. All those good cops will stop you if you have a firearm on you. They will take your ass to jail. You will spend your life savings trying to stay out of jail and on an attorney. The government has deep pockets. It takes a lot of money to fight them. A lot. Especially if a case goes on for years. And don't say they don't go on for years. I intimately know 2 people that had a case over golf balls that went on for damn near 4 years. So you figure court once a month, $450 an hour for one attorney. You do the math. And on top of that, they take everything you had. In that case, one bank account slipped through the cracks. And I think it might have had $10,000 in it or something. They froze every bank account that had been tied to it anyway. Aunts, uncles, moms, dads, everybody's. Froze them. They put you in a position that you can't win. And then, you know, everybody at first is on board. Hoorah, let's support this person. Just like with Justin. Let's support this person. And it takes all whopping 2 months that everybody's already forgot. You know, out of sight, out of mind. And that's what they do. You know, there's no reason why Justin shouldn't be on the street, but it's harder for him to fight his case while he's in there. And they want it that way. They don't want him to win. That's why they give him a bond. You know, the system's rigged. And the people are part of that system that makes it work. You know, go with the flow or pay the price. But when you're the only one not going with the flow, you will pay the price for not going with the flow. You know, then you got to make a decision. You know, people don't realize you always have the last say in what happens no matter what. Even in those cases, you have the last say. You don't have to go to jail. You can choose to die. And then if you do choose to die, it's going to be your fault because you are a criminal. You are found guilty by public opinion on the 11 o'clock news. How many people have died that we've been seeing that have been passed off, that have shot at cops or done whatever, and they didn't do anything wrong really, and they were passed off as some, you know, crazy, you know, suicide by cop bullshit. And then we treat cops like they're you know, kings or something. They get killed, they get their funerals paid for by the state, by whatever GoFundMe on top of it. Officer Kim here in Cincinnati, they're still talking about that dude. That was 2 years ago. That dude died 3 years ago. I mean, like, I feel bad for his family. Don't feel bad for him, not one bit. Why? Because there's no such thing as a good cop. They're at the core of the bullshit. Yeah, Duncan. Look at Duncan Limp, man. You're right, Johnny Rice. I'm reading some comments, guys. My bad. Johnny Walsher says, if you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, you should have to sit in jail as your child's opinion. I don't disagree with that, man. But you're not. You're not innocent until proven guilty. Everybody's guilty. And if you're not guilty, they will create a crime and they will make it look like you're guilty. If they can't make it look like you're guilty, they don't give a shit. They will leave you in there to rot. So the golf ball story. We'll go back to that. $40,000. It was a $40,000 cash bond. While in there was a guy that came in and like this. I'm not bullshitting about this. Golf balls. A guy come in there. He got pulled over on Liberty Street down here with a broken taillight or something. This was back when they would take you to jail for driving under suspension. But he didn't have a license. He's driving under suspension. They popped the trunk in the car because, they got to search the car if you're driving under suspension. Got to make sure that you ain't got no bodies in the trunk, which they searched the car, and I'm not shitting you at all. They found the gun. It was a shot. They found a shotgun, a shovel, neoprene gloves, tape, rope. This person was going to go get rid of some people for real. The dude's bond was $2,500 and 10%. $250. There's no method to the mayhem. It makes no sense. And don't pay a bond. Oh, hell no. Don't pay it. Don't ever pay a bond, because here's what, especially if you plan on to continue your criminal bullshit, or you continue to go against the grain, either way. Because if you pay it once, now you got to pay a ransom every time to get out. They see that you paid one bond that was $40,000, your next one's going to be $140,000. But anyway, so fast forward a week after that $40,000 bond was paid. 5 days later, the confidential informant in the case went through a window. He tripped and fell through a window. They raised it to $140,000 after that. You can't beat the system, man. You can't. Your options are to go to jail, waste a bunch of your life, your money, probably lose your family, your wife, your kids, your home, your cars, definitely your savings account. If you're lucky and they didn't take them bastards to begin with, they'll take them for anything now. Shit, you can be on your way to go buy a pickup truck, stop at the bank, get $8,000 in cash, be on your way to get the truck, and then get pulled over. Step out of the car, please. Got anything on you? Nope. Got anything illegal on you? Nope. Do you mind if I search your car? Dumb. Nope, go ahead. Then they find, $8,100 bills. They're like, oh, what's this? I was on my way to buy a truck. After they separate you and the passenger. So they go over the passenger. Where was you guys on your way to? To buy a truck. Or you do what you should do and say, kick rocks, or doesn't matter what we're on our way to. Either way, they're still taking your money. Civil asset forfeiture. And especially if it's some low amount like that, they're definitely going to take it, because here's the kicker to it. In order to get that money back, it costs you more money for an attorney to get that money back than it does just to let it go. So your option is to pay for an attorney, which the state doesn't reimburse you for. Get your little $8,000 back. You probably spend $6,000 on a lawyer doing it by the time it's over with, because it's going to take 3 or 4 years of your life going to court once every other month or once a month. Or you just say, I got beat. I got robbed by the state. They've created a system, and it's pretty genius though when you really think about it. They've convinced 330 million people, for the most part, not all of them, a lot of them, to praise the very ones that oppressed them. Call these assholes heroes. It's like that Jay Davis kid that said the other day. They run into the building to get a kid when it's on fire. Now, he did that because he was a man. It had nothing to do with being a cop. Like, if he'd been walking down the street without his uniform on and he wasn't a cop, he should have still done that. It has nothing to do with being a cop, and he sure as shit ain't a hero. Well, he saved the baby, gave the baby CPR. He's a hero. Doesn't make you a hero for giving a kid CPR. It means you're a man. It just, people just, we've watered down terms that had so much meaning at one time, and they're just meaningless now. Hero is one of those terms. Patriot's another one. It's okay to go around calling yourself a patriot, and people will join in with you. Hello, fellow patriots. Call yourself a hero, and watch how they look at you. Walk up to them and say, I'm a hero. Go to the next Trump rally. Say, I'm a hero, and watch how they look at you. They'll roll your eyes. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference if I call myself a patriot or a hero? Well, what'd you do to be a hero? Well, what the fuck did you do to be a patriot? And they'll go on saying whatever it is. Well, they'll give you the Google definition. I'm a staunch defender of my country. Okay, what's the country? The United States. What's the United States? The country. But what's the country? The United States. When really, you shouldn't be a staunch defender of this country. You should be a staunch defender of your state. It's the way it's set up. But people don't understand that. They don't get that. It's about praising the federal government, praising the police, praising government, fighting because I want my form of tyranny over yours for the next 4 years. And it's not even about that anymore. Now it's, look how bold these folks. Now I'm sorry, I got off track. Now if you go and put in your ballot, you get a dictator for the next 4 years that does everything by executive order. But no, they act like this is the first time this has happened, with what happened with the president thing, right? Well, now that elections don't matter, you mean they mattered when you would bust your ass for, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, and on that one day you would go cast your ballot right behind the person that sits at home on Section 8, gets welfare and food stamps, plus child care for some reason, who wants more of the money that you pay. You didn't think there was a problem with the election then? It might be just a little bit rigged. Voting's a right. No, it's not. Voting is a privilege for the productive. And now it doesn't even matter. Oh yeah, let's not forget, a jury of my peers wouldn't be on any voter registration. But only those on voter registrations can be on juries. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? How does that work? I'm a, first class white trash kind of dude, and you got all doctors and lawyers and shit on my jury. How does that work? It doesn't. It's who's still buying the bullshit. That's what it's about. Who eats the most bullshit that we can get the verdict we want. And then now they've changed the rules too. So jury nullification, let's talk about that for a second. Back in the day, jury nullification was a real thing. So the ideal was we'd rather let 10 guilty go than one innocent be convicted, right? So what was reasonable doubt? At one time, it was just one juror saying not guilty. On a jury of 12, if one person said not guilty, the person was found not guilty. It didn't have to be a unanimous verdict like it does today in every single freaking state, with a couple of exceptions. But even in those states, it has to be like, 9-3 or something like that before you can get a not guilty or a guilty. So you can nullify it. You can nullify it. It's with one vote. Not guilty. That was reasonable doubt. If one person found found enough in them or enough evidence to say that they're not guilty, that was reasonable doubt. Not anymore. And if you think it is, go ask Ryan Whitmer. I personally know Ryan Whitmer. I spent almost a year talking to that man every day. I've seen how he reacted in certain situations. I've seen what he did when nobody was looking. I had intimate talks with that dude. Not intimate, but you know what I mean. Like one-on-one deep conversations. First trial, mistrial. Some kind of evidentiary shit. Second trial, hung jury. Nope, wasn't enough. Third trial, guilty, given 15 to life for killing his wife. Go read about the case. Ryan Whitmer, Butler County, Ohio. If they want you, they will, and they spend enough money on you, they will try you until they get the verdict they want. They won't call it not guilty when it should be. They'll call it a hung jury. The jury's hung because they can't come to a unanimous decision. What the fuck do you think reasonable doubt is, dude? It's somebody finding enough common sense to go against the grain. You know, look at conviction rates across the country. You really think the cops are not right 98% of the time? Hell no, they ain't. And they don't have to be, because now they do like they did in my son's case. The guy that killed my son. It's about plea bargains. That's what it's about. It's not even about trials. It's about plea bargains. Well, hey, you're going to do this 33 to life right here if you go to trial. But if you sign this piece of paper, we'll give you 23 to life. You might have a chance to live after you're 50. And then they don't make you sign it right there. They let you think about it. I'll get back with you next week. So you sit in that cell at night, you're thinking, man, if I go for 23 to 33 to life for trial, or I can do 23 to life, just get the 23 out the way, and hopefully get out, have a chance at life. And they do it all the time. It's not just the murder cases. They do it for everything. Everything. Listen, I could sit in a courtroom in Claremont County, Ohio, and I could tell you what they're going to do to every person in that courtroom just based off their charges. And what's the most fucked up about it is that, like, DUIs, just as an example, DUIs. I don't give a shit if you get pulled over. You can't step out of the car because you're so wasted. You'll get 3 days in jail, 3 days in Camp Allen, and they'll give you an interlock. That's your punishment. Doesn't matter how far you drove, how many people you hit along the way. None of that shit matters. Now, they might charge you separate if you hurt somebody. But just for the DUI, even though it carries 180 days in Ohio, 3 days, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you blow. I've seen people blow 3 times the limit. 3 days in jail, 3 days in Camp Allen. The smart ones, not very many people are smart. That's why the not smart ones go to Camp Allen, where they go spend 72 hours, spend like, I don't know, $700 or something, so they don't have to go to jail and be a real criminal, right? Or if you go to jail, you turn yourself in at 6 o'clock on Friday, they let you leave on 6 o'clock on Sunday. Instead of spending 72 hours, you're only spending like 48 hours. And it's all about the money. Judges under rehabs, halfway houses. You know, it's about the kickback. Look at the state school programs in the prison systems in Ohio. You know, if you get sentenced to 5 years and you want to be a barber, the barber class is 2 years long. They won't let you start that class until the last 2 years of your sentence. So you have to serve the first 3, which I get it. They want you to remember that shit, right? They want you to leave fresh. The problem is, just like my buddy's running into right now, they force you to go to a halfway house at your 180-day mark, which means what? Which means you don't finish the class. Which means what? It means that nobody's getting certificates. Which means what? It means it's all bullshit. They're getting millions of dollars for the feds for these classes and nobody's benefiting from them. Because when they get out of there, yeah, those credits could count depending on who your teacher was at what school and what school taught at your prison. But then now you're responsible for paying when you get home. And they give you a bus ticket and $75 and say where you want to go. They send you to a halfway house. True story, no shit. I personally know somebody close, really, really close, who was at a halfway house. He tried not to go to the halfway house. He tried not to go to the halfway house so much, he never signed the paper to go to the halfway house. They made him go. You got to sign some paperwork that says, if I run away, you can charge me with escape and all kinds of shit. They take him to the halfway house. Wasn't there a week. Somebody dies in the bathroom in the middle of the night. They literally come in like 12 cops deep, detectives and shit, got everybody cuffed up, want to know what happened to this dead guy in the bathroom in the middle of the night, with needle in his pocket and heroin in his pocket. Well, there's a good chance he probably overdosed in there, bud. I don't know. You see that wreck over there? We were sleeping. The same person could sit up in his rack in the halfway house and buy everything from Jack Daniels to heroin without getting out of his bed. That's where they send people who have been sitting in prison for how long, that want to have, they want to go out and party, or they want to go out and drink, they want to go out with their family, they want to see their kids, whatever it is. Then they put them in this stressful situation where you're trying to get all this shit done so you can get out of this place because it sucks. They stick you in there with chomos and everything else. They're privately owned, so the security guards are getting paid $9 an hour as they're getting paid $500 an ounce for weed. So the person, or however much for Suboxone strips or heroin or crack or whatever it is. I mean, it's like a big fraternity house minus girls. There's no girls at the party. It's all privately owned. And it's privately owned because, if you're a state inmate, the state has custody of you. The state relinquishes their custody of you to this halfway house, but the state still has custody of you because if you walk out the door, you're considered to be an escapee. But the state doesn't have custody of you. The halfway house has custody of you. They're getting paid by the state to have custody of you. And those pieces of paper that dude refused to sign is basically your chain of custody. Okay, I give you permission to give me these people custody over me while I finish serving out my last 6 months or whatever it is. And now it's another kicker. So in Ohio, they have this thing called PRC. It's a big fuck game. Post-release control. So you go to trial, lose, and you go to jail and you serve whatever time it is. In Ohio, it's day for day. If you get sentenced to 7 years, you're doing 7 years. You might get like a day or two a month of good time. It's not like you're knocking off years for good time. But now they can send you back, and this has been this way for a while, and a lot of people get screwed with this. They can send you back 9 months at a time for up to half your sentence. Meaning, if you got sentenced to 10 years originally and you did all 10 of those years, you can now go back for 5 of those years, 9 months at a time. They won't just give you the whole 5. 9 months at a time is the most they can do it. Why? Because they want you to go do 9 months, get out, get your life back together, and then they fucking hit you at the damn PV, send you back for another 9 months, you lose everything again, you get out, it's a vicious cycle, man. Add into that, now we have background checks. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you're getting your background checked. There's no more, you paid your debt. And your debt was never supposed to be to society. Somebody killed, the guy that killed my son, he don't owe society for killing my son. He owes the family. Somebody steals from you, they don't owe the society for stealing from you, they owe you. And that's how it was in common law courts until the government took over the court system along with the policing forces and made this big fucking gigantic bullshit of a mess out of it. That is about nothing other than threats of violence and control. That's what it is. When you get pulled over, that's a threat of violence. They hit the lights, you will pull over, or I will call some of my buddies and we will make you pull over. If that means killing you to pull you over, we love you so much, we care about you so much, because of our authority, we will kill you to keep you from killing yourself. That's government. But people just don't want to see it. For a long time I've said you don't know what you don't know. At this point I call bullshit. It's willful ignorance, man. They'd rather bitch and complain about the Democrats. Look what all President Trump did. Let's really look at this. So if everybody remembers his campaign trail and all the bullshit promises he made, tell me one that he kept. Now, before we go on further, I know what everybody's going to say. Well, that tax break could have helped you, probably didn't help me. So it wasn't like, it was just a tax break to help everybody, right? He didn't just reform taxes. Well, then He deregulated industries, yeah, all of which he was fucking tied to some way. He profited from those in some way. Well, he built a border wall. No, he didn't. He extended Obama's funding for the border wall. But you would have thought, that video was everywhere. 3 days after he's in office. 3 days. He's at a banquet praising the Clintons. Wasn't he supposed to put that bitch in jail? I mean, I'm still waiting to see her. I'm going to be waiting. Look, aggravating. I'm going to be waiting on Clinton to go to jail. It's like I'm waiting on my nods. Maybe she'll go to prison about the same time my nods arrive. Jay Davis. But what do you say? What do you even say anymore? I mean, there was a time when, I think that, they tricked the people into the police forces because at once they were peace officers, allegedly. When the motherfuckers started showing up for heart attacks and shit and patting people down, it should have been, something ain't right here. But you know why they do that? Why else? Money. Because if they go to every call for the paramedics, that's one more little check they put on their board. That way next year when it's funds time, they can go in front of the city council and say, look, we had 6,754 runs this year. We need new cop cars. We need the new Explorers. But they don't tell them that 5,500 of them were medical calls. The other, 1,000 were drunk and disorderlies. Yeah, the one guy robbed the subway in the middle of the night. Nobody got hurt. I'm just burnt out on it, man. I really am. You have, when it comes to YouTube, it's the same way. It's about money. You have people that will openly say, it is about money. That's it. Send me your money and I'll buy this cool thing and I'll do a review on it and I'll show it to you. And then they get demonetized and say, well, guys, I can only pay my bills for a month. Or send this. Or for 2 years. Hey, buy this brand of this thing. Hey, by the way, I'm now a small owner, or just a small one, did I say I was a small owner in this company? Support it. We support police and vets. Oh, you're talking about the vets that took an oath to the Constitution, but they're in Iraq and Afghanistan kicking in doors on homes, rummaging through people's houses and shit. Those guys? Well, yeah, but that's in war. Civilians are in war. Well, they were ordered to. Also, what you're saying is that the order matters more than what's moral or even right. Well, the Constitution doesn't protect them. No, but they have rights. We know as individuals in this country that all humans have the same rights, which means they have rights. Matter of fact, why are you even over there? Aren't you supposed to be guarding a fort or a base or some shit in the U.S.? And why is there millions of you bastards running around? We're just supposed to have enough to protect our shit here at home. We're not the world's big brother. Because it's about money. And people are so fucked up, they can't even, and you tried to tell them, and I was this way one time too. I've told people that it was off the rocker, they didn't know what they were talking about. Multiple times. About the Act of 1871. You literally are paying land taxes to the king, people. Literally. The Federal Reserve, owned by the Rothschilds and the royal family. You can go look that shit up. It's public information. Our money is only supposed to be coin. We're not supposed to have paper money in this paper currency in this country. But we do, and we all agree it's worth something because they tell us that. Shit, at one time they made it illegal to have gold. You will go to jail. Imagine that. It's just not about what it's supposed to be about. There's not enough people on board to change it. And even if there was, would they? People are cowards. They ain't gonna do nothing. And the ones who aren't, the majority of the country, the vast majority of the country, is too stupid to see why the government's doing the shit to them that they're doing. Like, you know why I harp on felons? Because that's going to be you. They're going to decide that you're the felon next, or that you're the mentally ill person. Whatever it is, they're going to justify why they can now take your right. You've lost your right because they say so. And then they're going to back it up by 100 years of precedence in the court that we can restrict the rights of felons. Look at Justice Scalia's bullshit. They're trying to use that shit in South Carolina and North Carolina, one of the two right now. And ever since the Heller case, I've said that decision is going to be used to screw people over. The Heller decision is the greatest thing. It's our government recognizing our right. Fuck them. I don't care if they recognize the right or not. I'm human. I have the right to kick rocks. The government doesn't own me. It doesn't own you. But when they got a gun in your face backed by a force with this perceived authority that just magic, you'll do what they say. Most people will. And I'm not knocking people for doing that. Don't think that I am. I've done it myself. But like, how bad does it have to get before you will admit what the problem is? I mean, yeah, it was all right. When it was Bill Clinton in office, yeah, we can blame the Democrats. Really not when Bill Clinton was in office, because the economy was going up and it was just his turn. The economy doesn't fail or grow based on who's in the Oval Office. It doesn't. I'm sorry. Even if they shut all imports down because of tariffs, the economy would fix itself. But we've been led to believe that this person in office, especially over the last 2 or 3 elections, this person in office, man, like they make it or break it. They make it or break it. I mean, I even bought into it, dude. I was a fucking Trump flag waving. Yay! No, I wasn't waving flags. I'm bullshitting there. But I was a huge Trump supporter. And then it came along like, wait a second here. Something ain't right about this. And then I just kind of stepped outside the box for a minute. I was like, wait, man. When the Democrats are in office, all they want to do is violate people's rights. When the Republicans are in office, all they do is violate people's rights. When the Democrats are in office, they have the Republicans fighting the Democrats. And then when nothing is put in the office, they say it's because we fought it. We wrote them letters. Then the Republicans are in office. We make excuses to why they did it because we had to give them something. Like it's just a big scam. It's one ginormous scam. And everybody plays a part, because just like, we're driving down the street and somebody's pulled over. Like I said, if that cop is extorting that person, writing them a ticket for driving too fast or whatever it was they were doing, they didn't hurt nobody, they wouldn't be pulled over. They'd be wrapped around a tree somewhere. But we drive by because we've been conditioned to do that. We've been conditioned to believe that because he's got a uniform and these cool little lights on top of his car, and this car that we paid for that's still running with the AC on, the gas that we put in it, that this is okay. When it's no different than fucking the 6'1", 20-year-old dude beating the shit out of 80-year-old grandma taking her money. Or walking to grandma, at least walking to grandma and saying, hey, grandma, granny, if you don't go over to that ATM right there and get me some money out, I'm going to go back to your daughter's house and put a bullet in her head. I keep getting texts from somebody. I don't know who it is. Hopefully it ain't my wife. But like, at this point, there's nothing to gain from it. People have either opened their eyes to what is really going on, what the problem is. And I'm not saying that the cops are the problem. No, but the cops are involved in every problem. You can't be free if somebody has authority over you. I mean, by definition. flying your snake flag next to your thin blue line flag. Who the fuck do you think is going to tread on you? You think it's going to be Kamala and Harris and old Joey Biden getting all kitted out and coming and kicking your door in? No, it's going to be some asshole driving a car that you paid for with some cool little lights on top. And then, you know, property taxes. You go buy a home, pay cash for it, or trade a car for it, or trade labor for it, or gold for it, fucking a handshake, whatever you want to do. That ain't good enough. You got to pay the king's ransom annually. My house payment is $100, or my taxes is within $100 of being equal to my house payment. Think about that. I mean, they drain you dry through taxation. If you work at McDonald's and you have a family, well, that's not necessarily true. But you pay a lot. Even with that, you pay a lot. I mean, there's like a 42-cent gas tax in Ohio, I think. The federal government's, you know, these private companies build all the infrastructure, which they have to keep upgrading because of regulations from the government, because the government says so. You know, we have so many problems with the electrical grid and with the gas pipelines and all that bullshit. We need to keep upgrading them, just for them to charge you more money, because once those companies get started by these billionaires, they no longer pay for that shit. You pay for that shit. But the government says, oh, you know what, we're going to take this because the Constitution says, you see this? The Supremacy Clause and the Commerce Clause. But they fail to, you know, read about their jurisdiction. They leave that part out. But then they've done it so much for so long that everybody believes that they can do it. That's why you hear everybody say, call your congressman, call your representative. No, fuck them. Write the ATF. Are you serious? Dude, when somebody says that shit, I just want to reach right through the screen of the phone, grab them by the neck, shake the shit out of them. Nothing's going to change. It might change on a small scale, on a local scale or something. If people are smart enough and they can, you know, they condense themselves into one area. Other than that, it's over. That don't happen, it's done. There's no fixing it. And even then, you're going to have your problems. Because guess what they're going to do? Bet your ass they're going to do it. And they'll do some shit like they did at Waco and call you a cult. Because you know having a cult's illegal in a free country. You can't have a cult, a religious cult. I mean, it's been out how long since Waco? And people still believe the bullshit. Still believe the bullshit. ATF are for fallen heroes. What about the 72 people that died that included like 27 kids? What about them? Did you say anything about them? Oh no. And people still believe that thing was anything more than a show because Ruby Ridge went so bad. And then you know, Timothy McVeigh bombs Oklahoma City. They put him to death for that. Our country does that fucking shit every day. Every day these assholes do it. And it's okay because they're in suits. Because they have $2,500 pins. Because they got the force of the government behind them. And they've created a situation that's unwinnable for the people. Even if all 330 million people stood up today, it would be almost unwinnable. Because you gotta get through your local police forces first. This is just a fixed government. You got to get through the local police forces, then the county. State's going to roll in next. Then you're either going to have National Guard or Feds, one of the two, but they're both coming. And then you got the active military. They'll sit in Colorado and J-Dam your ass, whole community. Drop a Moab on you. Well, let's support them, guys. Let's show them our support. That silly bastard. SG42. Security guy 42. He's in the logistics industry. One of his sources told him that Wally World is only going to start getting half of their orders. So they can drive prices through the roof. They're going to scare you into buying shit. So they can raise prices. Dude, prices are getting raised. Because we were just now seeing what happened 6 months ago in this economy. You know, like they have what they call what do they call it? I'm having a brain fart. On-demand shipping or on-demand ordering, whatever they call it. You know, they need it today in the store and they'll have it tomorrow. So they have like 3 days worth of food in the stores now. A lot of that food was still made 6 months ago. It's just now coming out of the warehouse. Get your preps out of the way, people. You better get your mind right. That's what you better do. Because all that prep and shit ain't going to do you a bit of good in the end. Not if when they come to your door and say, hey, we need you to take your food and redistribute it. If you don't say no, you don't fight and die. Well, if you're going to die, what's the point in fighting? Because you stood for something. That's why. And if enough people would just take a stand for shit, for something that mattered, it wouldn't happen to the next person. They don't care about the next person. They care about them. It's not our rights anymore. It's my rights. Oh, you're cool, dude. Harleys. They don't leak oil. They just mark their parking spots, boys. Nothing would make me smile bigger right now than to see him lay that thing down. Just like a laugh out loud when he shut it off. I shouldn't be that way. I'm just kidding, God. I'm only kidding. I'm going to hell for that. Damn it. I just don't get it, man. I just really don't. Shit, my eyeballs. Damn, y'all been talking. I think Jet Black President. What? Hey now. My hog works everything. If you're already going to die, guaranteed, why not fight? I don't disagree with that, man. But people don't accept it that way, man. They look at it like they're not going to die. They can. This ain't the hill to fight on, right? Your shells are empty. We're in Colorado. And then you see people that have all the shit, man. But they'll never use it. After you having a bad day, brother? No, I'm not having a bad day, man. I feel like this every day, man. I'm just frustrated with the way I'm just frustrated with that with all the shit that's happened in the last year. People still won't accept what the problem is. They won't see the problem for what it is, and they never will. And there's always an excuse. Bad day at Black Rock. What's Black Rock? We are talking about just in time. Oh yeah, just in time shipping. That shit's a joke anyway, man. I mean, how many truckers do you know? Ask any of them if they're out of work right now. No, they're still trucking along just like they were. Walmart trucks are still going to be showing up full. Walmart's not going to. Because here's what happens if Walmart does what that guy said they're going to do. Let's see if I can get my phone to sit here. Here's what happens. The warehouses get backed up. Everybody's got a phone in their hand. You know how fast it'd be all over social media if Walmart warehouses were full, but the store shelves were empty? And they're raising prices? Is Liberty Chick in here? Well, is my wife in here? Hey, Liberty Chick, hear you in the background? No, you don't hear her in the background. That ain't her. It's somebody over here arguing with this hooker, I think. Just leave them where they lay if they're not going to open their eyes to the problem. Well, right, Redbone. That's where I'm at, man. So, is it worth investing the time, effort, or even my breath for that matter, into this channel anymore. I'm not sure, man. I think, you know, I've been biting on it for the last 6 months about maybe possibly not uploading to this channel anymore, at least for the time being. But then, like, you know, you lose the benefit of being able to live stream from my phone. I can only live stream from a PC. I can't just upload posts then. And by the way, if you guys aren't going to Patreon, I've been uploading a bunch of